upheavaling, to use the biblical term, of Sodom and Gomorrah, which Abraham witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
So it all happened
The great pillars
at the
of
same
smoke.
time in the year 2024 BC.
And those lands prior to that, or at least as you study those lands, they were once very fertile and green.
Very fertile.
And they really haven't recovered from that Holocaust then at all.
Not that area in the south of the what is called the Dead Sea, or in the Bible the Salt Sea, was flooded because the barrier at the southern end of the Dead Sea was breached by the explosions, and the waters after the 7 cities were wiped out, the waters flooded that area, but there is still radiation in that area to this day after 4,000 years.
Do we have any idea of how large the devices were that were used?
Well, there are NASA photographs, which unfortunately we can't show your listeners now, but I reproduced them in the book, that from space, from a spacecraft, that show an immense crater where the spaceport, I claim, was, and the cracks that ran through almost half the peninsula as a result of those explosions. So the power must have been tremendous, and to this day, the plain, there's a plain there, is strewn for miles on end with broken up pieces of blackened stone for which no scholar, no scientist has an explanation. How could an area of miles and miles around be covered with broken up stones, all black?
One of the things they probably won't accept is a theory that there was a nuclear explosion there.
Well, let them then explain the crater.
Explain it some other way.
Right.
Well, as you can see, we're off for a journey tonight in the mind, you and I, with Zecharia Sitchin, who is here. His book is called The Wars of Gods and Men. You've gotten just a touch of it. It's fascinating. But the thing of it is, it's not something that Zecharia made up. It's something that he found in the ancient text. And as we pointed out earlier, they were really terrific science fiction writers with a grip on the future that is unreal, or they were very good historians. And to go along with you, Zecharia, that it was the latter, that they were historians. And we'll be back and we'll start talking to you. You ready to field some questions? Because I know you've probably generated a few among the better interrogators of this show, and that's the audience.
Fine.
Ready?
Let's
We'll
go.
be back to that in just a moment. Welcome to Open Mind.
Yes, good evening, Bill. I'd like to ask your guest if he's familiar with the work of Eric von Däniken, who wrote a few books years ago based on the theory of the gods theory. And I was wondering, if so, does his theories tend to reinforce Mr. von Däniken's? Because his theories were that there were extraterrestrial visitors as well.
Well, the answer to your question is yes. Now, to go into somewhat greater detail, I think I could best answer it in the following way. Soon after my first book was published, I was invited to share the podium with Mr. von Däniken at some a conference. That event was preceded by a press conference. I came to the room where the press conference was being held. That was the first time I ever met Mr. von Däniken, and he me. In front of all the newsmen and reporters that were gathered there, he came towards me, he embraced me, he turned to the newsmen and said, "Well, you people keep writing that I don't know what I'm talking about, but here is the man who proves me right."
So you two are of like minds there in many, many areas. Does that answer your question, Dwight?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you for your question. It was a good one. We'll be back in just a moment. Here, Barbara. Hello.
Hi, good evening, Bill.
Right.
I was curious to know where Mr. Sitchin's books were available in the Los Angeles area.
Well, they should be available in all bookstores, and if the one that you go to, it's not there, just insist that they order it.